We just got one of the biggest patch notes ever in Valorant, and there are incredibly big changes to the entire game that are going to affect the entire meta game. So let's dive in and watch the video made by the Korean Valorant because they have fantastic visuals of the changes. We're going to talk about all of those changes during this video. 9.10 is massive, absolutely massive. So all of the changes in Phoenix are pretty big. They are like actually making him almost a brand new agent, and we're gonna talk about that in a specific guide what I'll be releasing later on after I will play him a little bit. But the first change is that his wall, you will be healed by the wall even if you're not standing in it. So essentially you touch the wall and you get the heal, and now you can leave the wall and still be healed, which like essentially makes you more mobile. This is a good change. His mollies now change place with the flashes. We already knew that from the previous video as well. So essentially you get one flash for free, which is insane, right? Because you're able to play every round with one flash. The molly is 200 credits. So essentially his kit is also cheaper now because you spend 50 credits less. Because actually 100 credits less. Because otherwise you would have to buy 2 flashes. Each was 250 each, right? So that's 500 for 2 flashes, but now you have to just spend 200 and 250. Well, essentially, yeah, it's 50 credits, like I just said at the beginning. So a little bit cheaper, and that's big change. Now he gets additional flash every time he gets 2 frags, just like every single duelist on that wall, on that typical standard util, right? But now look at the wall. It goes through the walls, through obstacles, and this is going to be something that I'm going to pay attention to in my guides, how to make proper walls now to when it comes to entering sites. It's a big change. Incredible change. And that's we're not even in like a lot of changes, like us guys, you don't even know what is waiting for you. It's incredible how many changes we have here. We have Cypher, Sage, Deadlock, Jett changes. So Cypher actually gets a huge nerf. Cypher gets a huge nerf, right? So his, as you can see here in this video, his traps are activated a little bit later. Look, right here, someone goes, this is before the change, right? Someone goes into the trap, you immediately get the scan. Now you're gonna have to wait 500 milliseconds to get the scan, which essentially allows people that go into the trap to destroy it without being spotted. Incredibly big nerf, specifically to the way that Cypher play, because you are not able to just react instantly when someone tries to destroy a trap. So you're gonna be able to squeeze in, destroy the trap when you're in it, and then fight the Cypher, because he's gonna go out, but he will not know exactly where you're standing. It's a huge change. Big nerf to Cypher. This is a nice change to his essentially to the way that we know how to play with Cyphers, because as you can see on the minimap, the difference between the way that they are being positioned on the minimap, you couldn't like really learn what exactly is the direction, like why is this trap like this, but now you know the trap is like that. So this is a nice change for the for knowing how your Cypher setup exactly looks like. And his ult is at 7 orbs, which is, I by the way think this is just horrible for Cypher's. Horrible change. Like his ult, Cypher's ult was already pretty bad, and now it's even worse. You need a body for it to work, which is constantly also what we're gonna be talking about Sage in a second. But his ult costing 7 essentially costs 8. I don't think it's worth at 8. It feels bad, like it really feels bad, because even if you have your ult active, someone has to die, and then you have to go next to the body. So essentially, even if you have your ult active, there's almost no difference between having 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 6, because you still need the dead body. The only difference would be that otherwise you would have to get the kill yourself, while if someone else gets the kill, you can rotate and get that ult of that player, right? I don't know, man. I feel like if you nerf to his orb ultimate, you need to give him a little bit of compensation and how that ult works, because this is gonna feel bad. Now, Sage actually gets meaningful buffs on 3 out of 4 skills. Her self-heal now heals 50, and it's way faster. So it's more useful on yourself, which is okay. Still not a big of a heal. This is, though, pretty big against Neon and Jett, because they are not able to dash through the slow. But the problem is, if you're like holding a site, like let's say I'm holding a choke point and I'm using the slow, a smart Jett will just updraft and then dash, and then the slow will not affect him. Unless, but we don't know that, but I don't think it will. I don't think it will affect people who are updrafting, right, first, but we'll have to check that. But if that's the case, if it's not affecting people who are updrafting, then it will not really help a lot with actually holding the site. Against Jetts, of course. The ult, this is funny because Sage ult is pretty bad in general. And she gets a buff to 7, but it's just funny to look at when Cypher also got the nerf to 7 at the same time. And it's actually probably easier to pull off a good Sage ult than a decent Cypher ult. I don't know. It's just like, now with both being 7, I mean, right? Like, they both require dead body, but a little bit more value is going to be brought by Sage than Cypher now at the same cost. So that's weird. Deadlock doesn't get any buffs or anything, essentially. You just see the damage being done a little bit better on the utility. Pay attention to the color on the right side. See here, like you understand a little bit better when something is being damaged, you know. So that's essentially it. And this, you can consider this a small buff when someone is stuck in the cocoon. How it works right now, that's this person just jumps down when the cocoon ends, but now this person will die. So it's like, okay, this is maybe a small buff, but it's like whatever. This is a small nerf to Jett. She's not able to drift now in the air when she's detained or when she is affected by suppression. Now this nerf, those changes here are crazy. Those changes here are crazy. Omen apparently is not gonna be able to do geometry-based one-ways. This affects everything. This is pro play changed. Not only ranked, but pro play. Entire pro play is about one-ways. And like, for example, you are on let me show you Valorant. Let's say we talk about Ascent. Some of the one-ways are not gonna be possible because Omen on Ascent is so popular, right? Why is this menu up? Doesn't matter. This one way is gonna still be possible because it's on a wall that a player can stand on. So this one way can still be done. But a one way on doors over here is not gonna be possible anymore, right? And you're not gonna be able to, for example, one way here, which was also a very popular smoke in pro play because it stops the initial push from B main. This is not gonna be possible anymore. On split as well, one of the most popular one ways was to smoke B main like this, and that's not gonna be possible anymore as well. Now we're gonna be able to put it on the box here, but that doesn't create a one-way. So you're not able to do a proper one-way in B main, and also on like entrance to site, you can't also one-way over here. So I don't know how much this will affect actually the pick rate of this agent, but I think pro play will actually change quite a bit. Because this is insane. This is absolutely insane change that will probably make pro teams invest into other agents, like maybe more Astra. It's quite astonishing that they made this change. Now, I fully expect it to not work how it should work. I think that something will get messy on the live server, and you're still gonna be able to make some geometry-based one-ways. But if it will be like they say it will be, that is incredible, huge change. CLOVE gets... Now that's funny, because right, everyone is complaining about the colors of the smokes. No one knows if it's yours or opponent's. So now it's gonna be more visible if it's your opponent. Like, there's a big glow of red if it's your opponent. So much easier to get. There's also one more change that, if I'm not mistaken, this video doesn't talk about. Let me check. Yeah, so this video doesn't talk about this change over here from CLOVE. Not dead yet. Time to kill, 12 seconds to 10 seconds. This change has been made accidentally in patch 8.11 when fixing another bug, but the ultimate is performing well at this tuning. So this was accidental change that was reverted. And I was being gaslighted by my Twitch chat at some point because I thought it was shorter, and then it turns out, okay, it was actually short at some point, but it was a bug. And I remembered that. So I was like, what the hell? Why is my memory just so bad or something? But now it's gonna be 10 seconds. Like it's a huge nerf. Her ultimate already not that good, so this is a huge nerf to CLOVE. But at the same time, my opinion, CLOVE could just not exist in the game, and the game would have been better. Same goes for Reyna, by the way. Overall, our experience as players in Valorant would have been better if those two characters would not exist. So yeah. System updates are also pretty huge changes. And by the way, all of those changes are still not the biggest changes of the patch. We're gonna get to them. It's insanity. So, combat reports. I disagree slightly with what they did. So, right here on the right, you see the combat report. So, you're not gonna see the utility combat report till the round is ended. So this changes, for example, Breach, Yoru, other characters with flashes and stuns. Because when you use a stun from Breach, let's say you play on Split, and your Breach stuns at the beginning of the round like this. Stuns like this, peeks out and dies, right? The Breach will die in this area, but he saw only one player. But the util will say, oh, stunned 4, then you get information that you shouldn't be having. So they are changing that. Now, I do think that's cool, and it affects pro play as well, because you get less information when you shouldn't have that information. I think this is pretty huge change. But I do think if they make this change, they should also not show how much damage you're doing. Like, if you don't see a player, if you do a wallbang, you should not see damage that you're doing. You know? Like, maybe even if you see a player, maybe you should not be able to see how much damage you're doing. But that's my opinion. If you have different opinion, let me know in the replies if you think so. But the utility change is pretty good. This is also pretty big nerf and buff at the same time, because it's buffing agents who have stuns, not only Breach, but every agent that has stuns, including like Sky, right? So every stun affects the neon and the Jett slides and dashes. As you can see, the distance is just way worse now when you compare it. But essentially, you almost don't move, right? Look at the difference over here. Wait, I'm gonna slow it down. Playback. Look at the difference. Too bad they are not sliding in the same frame. But the difference is huge. The difference is absolutely huge. So it's easier to get people like after you stun, which is something that was notorious before. Like, you were able to stun someone, but he still slid out, changed the position, and somehow one-tapped you because he's stunned. They're also changing visuals of inside of the smokes. It's gonna be easier to tell when the smokes is dissipating. It's whatever change, I'll be honest with you. So you get the info a little bit better visually. And now, a huge meta changer. And I'll be honest with you, I think this item might be pretty good. So, Regen Shield. We're actually not gonna watch the video, but we're gonna read the patch notes first about this change. The Regen Shield works like this. We want to expand the strategic and tactical possibilities within the Valorant competitive sandbox by introducing a new defensive option. Regen Shield has been added to the shop. Cost 650 credits. Damage absorption 25 HP. Regeneration pool 50 HP. Absorbs 100% of incoming damage taken before damage to health occurs, which is insane because that works differently than other shields. In other shields, in like big shield and small shield, you are affecting 60%, 66% actually of the damage taken. So the shields are grabbing majority of the damage on itself, and then you get a little bit damage to the health. In this case, this regeneration shield takes all of the damage on itself. So if you get hit by a Vandal bullet, your HP gets to 15 because 25 was being stopped by the shield. If you're being hit by a classic shot, the damage absorption of the shield drains 25 and you get 1 damage to your body. So thank God this is not viable in pistol round. Wait, actually it is. Oh my God, this is viable in pistol round. Oh no, I just realized, I fully went thinking that this is not viable in pistol round, but it actually is. Look, I would not be surprised if the meta choice will be to buy 5 regenerative shields in pistol rounds and play with classics, or at least buy a better gun for someone on a carry agent with regenerative shield. And just, there are agents who have like Yoro, for example, can buy a clone and this shield and just play with no flash and still feel like okay on the round. Like, this is actually incredibly effective item. Like, see how fast it regenerates, right? Let's see. Right? 2 seconds to start regenerating. 2 seconds to start regenerating the shield. And you can do that twice. So effectively, if you didn't die immediately or without a follow-up, you essentially have 175 HP, which is insane. Let's take a look at it again. Right, wait, the first shot? Yeah, see, you get 1 damage, just as I explained before. You get 1 damage from the classic shot. 1 damage from the classic shot is gonna start regenerating, get you to 25 HP, right? So now you essentially have like a big shield, but better to some degree. Actually worse against for heals, but yeah. And then if you are able to like exit and heal again, this is nuts. I'll be honest with you. I think this is gonna be my shield of choice on Yoro because you're able to reposition so hard almost every time. This is an incredible change, and I don't know if I like it. I think this is very useful shield. Very useful shield, and it's probably gonna be chosen in pistol rounds a lot. In ranked might actually just be all of the players playing with this. Like, think about the agents. So, Astra can play shields and 2 smokes. Breach can play, well, essentially nothing. Because he's not able to buy Aftershock or the flash, so that's pretty bad. Brimstone can play smokes and a shield. Like 2 smokes and a shield. Chamber can play 1 bullet, so probably not gonna buy it. Clove can play, like Clove, I would actually consider Clove probably doing this instead of the heal. Like, you go for regenerative shield and 2 smokes, and that's gonna be the meta buy on Clove. Cypher, nah. Deadlock whatever. Fade, she's not gonna buy it. Gecko might actually buy it. But not in pistol. No, because you need the wingman in pistol round. But on defense, maybe not. Who the hell knows? Harbor doesn't matter. ISO is able to buy it because he still has the shield as well. So that's kind of crazy. And you don't need the debuff on the pistol round and ranked. So he can play with that. Jett. She can buy 1 smoke. So why not? Yeah, this is crazy. Crazy item. I'm gonna definitely force it on my Yoru on pistol rounds. Because you can still play with the clone. I can live by with no flash and pistol round, I think. We'll see. We'll test it out. But it's crazy. Crazy item, crazy change. Now, even bigger changes. Weapon updates. We're gonna go to the patch notes again because there's a lot of stuff here. So weapons got an insane amount of changes when it comes to the accuracy. As Valorant has grown and evolved, you all have learned how to take advantage of different methods of swinging and peeking. Because of the way bullet tagging in Valorant works, slowing down when shots land on you, shot players are often tagged and then slowed down into walking state, and as a result, their weapons became quickly more accurate. We want to maintain this intuitive relationship between player movement, speed, and accuracy, so we're opting to increase all moving state accuracy penalties, aka movement error, and encourage intentionality in movement when shooting. The Sheriff and the Frenzy already have different movement error inaccuracies compared to the other pistols, which are valuable to maintain for the sake of their identities. SMGs are unaffected. The Ghost having more bullets than Frenzy didn't make intuitive sense, and now they're gonna have it reverted. So essentially, pistols now, Frenzy will have 15 bullets in the clip, Ghost will have 13 bullets in the clip. Big nerf to Ghost. Like specifically, this is gonna be most visible when a player takes multiple gunfights against classic players who require more bullets to be, dealt with to kill someone, right? So sometimes the Ghost will just run out of ammo, and that wasn't happening before typically. And Frenzy, that is actually a huge change, and I might actually start using it more now because the gun is like probably one of the most swingy guns in existence. Sometimes it's the best, sometimes it's the worst. But now with 2 bullets more, that's a big change. But in general, all of the changes to guns are like this. All pistols, mostly here Classic and Ghost are the most important changes, right? Have higher inaccuracy while walking, and it's a big change because that's essentially like plus 30%. Like that's quite big, over 30% actually. So that's quite big of a change when walking, but they didn't change anything about, oh wait, no, running accuracy has a smaller change. So running accuracy, I think this is not as big of a change because when you think about it, it's only like 15%, while this one is over 33%. So it's more about walking in accuracy than running in accuracy. And I feel like that's not going to affect it that much. The right click is probably almost insignificant when it comes to the amount of changes here. But this is something we have to test in the game instead of just looking at numbers. But rifles also have the change, which for running in accuracy, not that big of a change. For walking in accuracy, that's actually a big change. So when someone is running in, gets tagged and slowed down, and he's gonna shoot you back, there's a higher chance they're gonna not hit you. Like quite significant change, 50% change. Like again, we have to test it out how it works in the game, but this might actually be a big nerf to all the people who are trying to abuse this. The same happens to machine guns, but at the same time, who the hell plays with them anyway? So yeah, let's go back to the video. Those are all the changes we talked about. So those are the illustration of the bullets. And now, this is probably the biggest change apart from the shield itself. Look what happens to Phantom. This gun just got a GIGA buff. Remember that I released a video of Phantom versus Vandal? I believe that this gun might now be just strictly better. Because the change is huge, right? 4 bullets body shots is 140. And this is long range, very visible. Because now over 30 meters, you're actually able to hit and kill small shield players with 4 body shots. Because otherwise, you were dealing 124 damage with 4 body shots, right? Long range, like 30 meters. If you hit 4 times body, it's 124. So you're not even killing a player with small shields. But because now you're going to be able to deal always consistently 35 at the same range, you changing it to 140 in 4. And that is incredible change. And the distance between 15 meters to 20 meters for the highest possible damage is nuts. You guys don't even realize how many gunfights are in between 12 to 20 meters. And Phantom, because of that, was kind of inconsistent because you were peeking and the distance changed from 15 to 16 and suddenly you don't kill someone, even though it's like very, very small difference. So right now, this is a incredible change, and I might actually start using Phantom way more, even though I think I have inferior aim. In my video Phantom versus Vandal, I said Phantom is better, but only if you are mechanically incredible. So if you're a worse player, like I am, for example, like I am better at game sense and utility rather than shooting, I opted always for the Vandal because it's such a better gun when it comes to the just consistency. But Phantom, now with this buff, I think it's insane. And I think I will just be forcing Phantom and trying to be more precise with it, trying to be clean with the Phantom, not spray. And just essentially, this is a new Vandal for me. It's incredible change. And no price change, right? Like, it's insane. The distance change is nuts. Absolutely incredible change. So, in pro play, I think most people will start using Phantom as well. You know, this is gonna be actually pretty big for pro play as well. Let me see if we fixed. Did we miss anything? Fixed a bug with armor bot where it did not play proper reactivation. Ceremony would instantly reactivate when kills at range turret its range. Okay, whatever. That's about it. Yeah. Valorant cooked. I think people should be happy with this change, apart maybe from the shields change. I think the shield might actually ruin the game, but we'll see how it goes. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're gonna do Phoenix in-depth guides later on, but this is quite nuts. Hope you guys gonna enjoy, because I cannot wait to play the game tomorrow on stream and test all the changes. See you guys. Bye bye.